Welcome to Transfer Business and News. Welcome to the show. It is 7th June 2023, our year of grace, power, and abundance. Welcome to Transfer Business and News. Now, today we'll be talking about 3 free transfers that Manchester United can look at this summer. Of course, players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Christian Eriksen shows us that if you look through the free market, you can pick up gems from the free market. Gary Cahill, for instance, was from Bolton Wanderers that were going on relegation. They picked him up from a relegation team. He became a Chelsea captain later on, winning the Champions League. So, free transfers, all you need to do is be smart. So today we'll be talking about 3 players. 3 players on a free transfer. Of course, N'Golo Kante is the next player being sent to the Saudi project. The vision of the ordained crown prince, of the crown prince of Saudi. I'm sending love, I'm sending power, I'm sending abundance to the prince of Saudi for the vision that he's having for his country. These are the visions we want to implement in Africa. Operation 2030. That is why they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Now we hear Wilfred Zaha is also on the verge of joining the Saudi project. And this is the vision we want for Africa as well. That is why in Pan-Africanism, in a united Africa, we will build 100,000 capacity stadiums only, 540 of them across Africa, 10 in each country. Put Enyimba Rangers in 100,000 capacity stadium. Put Etoile du Sahel in a 100,000 capacity stadium. El Ali, Zamalek, TP Mazembe, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Accra House of Folk. So that people like the next generation of Benzimas can come back to Africa and play in our league. We need to start respecting ourselves, right? So today on Transfer Business and News, we are talking about free transfers that Manchester United need to look at. Of course, the takeover is still taking its toll. The takeover at Manchester United has become like a bad tooth that you need to go to the dentist to remove. But then you know how painful it is, and Charlie. Because when you want to be optimistic, you then think, who are our owners now? Is it the Glazers? Is it the Glazers stroke Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Or is it what Manchester United fans across the world want? Sheikh Jassim Al Thani. That project. We are interested in that project. But we don't know anything. And I think maybe the way we are feeling, that is the same way Erik ten Hag is also feeling. Thinking. In the FA Cup final, it was bare for the world to see that the gulf in class between Manchester United and Manchester City. Physically, technically, when Julian Alvarez was on the bench, Riyad Mahrez was on the bench, didn't even feature. We were bringing Valdvergos, and you look at the bench, and we didn't have anybody to change the game apart from Alejandro Garnacho. And we are like, this is the golf in class we are talking about. So we know Erik ten Hag has done marvelously well with the squad. Look at the number of games he has played. He has lost his best players. Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Thuram. He had to deal with Cristiano Ronaldo in the beginning of the season. Have you forgotten? It seems like 10 years ago. But it is this season that Erik ten Hag had to deal with the Cristiano Ronaldo saga so comfortably and authoritatively that it made the whole world pay attention to the man. Like, this is a man of principles. He knows what he wants. the way he dealt with the situation. He never said anything bad about the man. He never said anything bad. No, he is a legend. We need him, irrespective of what was going on, maybe behind the scenes. So we love Erik ten Hag, and we want to give him a squad capable of competing for the Premier League and the Champions League next season. Now, once you are Manchester United fans and you start thinking about Carabao Cups, then you are supporting the wrong club. Because what City is trying to achieve now, we did it way back in 1999. Think about it. What City is trying to achieve now in 2023, we did it way back in 1999. We may have fallen because of bad ownership and bad direction, but then Manchester United will always be Manchester United. And it's a club for kings and queens and crown princes across the world. So we want a different project, a project that will match the ambitions of the fans. That is why I feel Sheikh Jassim Al-Thani will be the right man for Manchester United. And I know most Manchester United fans, if you think Sheikh Jassim is the right owner, what am I even saying? If you think Sheikh Jassim should be the next owner of Manchester United, like this video, share it, and comment below. We need to have a poll underneath in the comment section. So go in the comment, state what you want, and explain yourself to the latter, right? But please don't bring in human rights, because if you are talking about human rights, then you know UK virtually colonized everybody around the world. So don't go and talk about Carter's human rights, because you are the epitome of the oppressors, the slave masters, the colonizers. So as for that side, don't go there, but talk about pure vision, pure prestige. What you think, Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers. Wear these two and see, even the community. Look at what Man City have done to Manchester. Do you know the things the people in Manchester is going to benefit from a Sheikh Jassim? Why deprive? Now, it is because it is Manchester United. That is why we are hearing all these qualms. Where were all these allegations when Saudi was buying Newcastle? Did you hear anybody say something? They didn't, right? But because it is Manchester United, they've not heard it before. They want to oppress the winner. But we know. That is why we want the Saudi. Because we look at Sir Jim Ratcliffe's ownership at Nice. And the Nice fans are protesting the same way Manchester United fans are protesting against the Glazers. And I'm like, so why is he even here? He doesn't have a good CV to start with, right? And the fact that he gave the Glazer family shares in his bid to still be at the club shows that, you see, create loot and shirting scheme they want to do with our club. So we would rather want it under a guidance. Top brass people, a vision for the club, a vision for the club in Africa, a vision for the club in Asia, a vision for the club across the world, because Manchester United is a global club. The Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana is a Manchester United fan. So, as I said, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Christian Eriksen are a few players we can pinpoint when it comes to the free market. Now, you know Zlatan just retired. He did extremely well, scoring 28 goals for Manchester United in his debut season, winning 2 trophies with Manchester United. So he came, he saw, he conquered, and he left, right? So look at what Zlatan did, and look at what players that we paid huge money for, but then they didn't turn out to be good players. somebody like Shinji Kagawa, for instance, huge money, then look at the free transfer. So we can pick up gems in the free transfer market. And the first player I will talk about is Adrien Rabiot of Juventus. Now, I love Rabiot. As I said, in the game against City, De Bruyne is never getting away from Rabiot. Mark this somewhere. If Rabiot is signed to Manchester United, mark this somewhere. Kevin De Bruyne can never outpace and outrun Rabiot in a duel. Now, of course, he may get a field 1 or 2, but look, you will see what I mean if Manchester United gets Rabiot. He is that kind of player who will clean everything up. So if Erik ten Hag is looking at him, I can see perfectly why he wants somebody like Adrien Rabiot on a free transfer. Because, come to think of it, if we can get rid of Fred, Scott McTominay, Donny van de Beek for a combined fee of 100 million and bring in Adrien Rabiot, Youri Tielemans, and Marcus Thuram on a free transfer, we have done smart business. We have 100 million in the bank. Now we have players who will improve Manchester United. Because when I look at Youri Tielemans this season, even in a struggling or a relegated Leicester, his numbers compared to Fred, he betters him in pass accuracy, pass completion, and all those things. Youri Tielemans, despite having a poor season, will do well in this Manchester United team than what Fred is doing. Youri Tielemans, under the tutelage and guidance of Erik ten Hag, will do way better than what Fred is now. So if I can get money for Fred and get Youri Tielemans, fresh season, Champions League team, competing back, because don't forget, Youri Tielemans is just 26 years old. He has football ahead of him. And all he needs is a coach like Erik ten Hag. Look at what he has done to Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. Look at what Erik ten Hag has done to these players. So if you look at a player 26 years old, Youri Tielemans, on a free transfer under Erik ten Hag going into a new season, all I see is positives. We can do that business and get 100 million and bring in Declan Rice. So now you will have Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, you will have Youri Tielemans, you will have Rabiot and Declan Rice. Have you seen what I'm seeing? If Manchester United sell Donny van de Beek, Scott McTominay, and Fred for a combined fee of 100 million this summer, and we bring in Youri Tielemans, Adrien Rabiot, and Marcus Thuram on a free transfer, we have upgraded our midfield. We have given a second striker in Marcus Thuram, because I will talk to you about his numbers this season. He scored more goals than Anthony Martial, of course, this season. So when you bring somebody like Marcus Thuram in as a second striker, it is good business. On a free transfer, getting rid of Fred, Donny van de Beek, and maybe Scott McTominay for a combined fee of 100 million. You've done smart business in the transfer market. So Adrien Rabiot, 28 years, 6'1". I said the guy is a giant, 6'1", and he is quick. He can score goals. This season, he played 48 games, scored 11 goals, and made 6 assists. His pass accuracy is 84. And you know Adrien Rabiot, the France international, a World Cup winner with France. Now, people talk about his attitude, and I'm like, Manchester United have had Eric Cantona and Cristiano Ronaldo and Zlatan Ibrahimovic and even Paul Pogba with his qualms. We've had them. Why do you think Eric Ten Hag can't? No. Adrien Rabiot will come to this Manchester United team seeing winners in Casemiro, Rafael Varane in charge of the dressing room already, running things, Lisandro Martinez, Bruno Fernandes, running things. So he needs to follow instructions. And I know he will do extremely well at Manchester United. Because in certain games at Anfield, if we play Adrien Rabiot, Declan Rice, and we play Bruno Fernandes as a midfield three, we can go and battle. Declan Rice and Adrien Rabiot behind Bruno Fernandes will sweep and mop everything up, and they can pick a pass, they can play 1-2s, and they can score goals. So at Anfield, at the Etihad, we can deploy similar tactics. Go there with a tight but efficient machine, nick a goal, and probably win the game. Because Anfield, we've gone there and the aggregate score is around 12-0. So we need to improve on that start next season. And we need Declan Rice. So you can get Declan Rice 100 million, get these free transfers in, then you get into your own transfer kitty. You can bring in a top striker, a Victor Osimhen, a Harry Kane. If you don't get Harry Kane, bring in Rasmus Hojlund. Marcus Thuram, Rasmus Hojlund. Give them, share the minutes among them. 60-30. Now we have 5 subs for crying out loud. Share, these are young players who have potential to score goals, especially Hojlund and Thuram to score goals. So give them the platform and give them competition. They will score more goals for Manchester United. We need to look towards the future and be smart. So Adrien Rabiot, 48 games played, 11 goals, 6 assists with a pass accuracy of 84%. Youri Tielemans, as I said, 5'8". He is just 26. This season, the whole Leicester team, including Ndidi and Jamie Vardy, they've all gone down. James Maddison is also there. They've all gone down. So you can't blame just Tielemans, right? So Tielemans, 37 games played, 4 goals, 2 assists, a pass accuracy of 82%, and we know what Tielemans can do. An FA Cup winner. FA Cup, scoring that goal against Chelsea to win the FA Cup with Leicester. We know what Tielemans can do in the Premier League. And I think if there is any coach that can revive Youri Tielemans, I bet he'll do extremely well under Eric Ten Hag. Now, I know Chelsea won 70 million for Mount, right? But then smart business, we get money to replace our goalkeeper as well. Now, Marcus Thuram is also a player who played 32 games this season, scored 16 goals, and gave 7 assists. Marcus Thuram, free transfer, 16 goals last season for his team. Gladbach, 7 assists on a free transfer. A young guy, around 26 years old, with shots per game conversion, 3.1 shots per game. Free transfer. These are smart signings we can do, but important signings, right? Smart signings so that we can bring players that can challenge for the starting 11. Because I see Casemiro, Rabiot, Eriksen sometimes. Casemiro, Rabiot, Mount. Casemiro, Because Rabiot, coaches will understand. Now, speaking about free transfers, Samir Handanovic of Inter Milan is also on a free transfer. David De Gea, I would take Handanovic over De Gea right now. Oh yeah, because Handanovic is at Inter Milan, and Inter Milan are in the Champions League final, right? Inter Milan are in the Champions League final. So, what can I say? I'll take Handanovic over David De Gea any day right now on a free transfer with a lesser wage. De Gea, the most paid goalkeeper in the Premier League for a very long time, over 375k. And he makes mistakes like that. You are like, this world, all you need to do is be at the right place at the right time and make a lot of money. Because if you think about the fact that De Gea is paid more than Alisson and Ederson and so many players, you are like, this is how the world is. Now, as I said, Wilfred Zaha is on his way. Per reports this morning, looks like Zaha on a free transfer. If you send Ilanga, if you send Pelistri on loan, and you bring Wilfred Zaha back to Manchester United on a free transfer, it makes a lot of sense. It means you've brought a player that can play as a number 10. You've brought a player that can sometimes play as a number 9, sometimes shift to the left side, to the right side, and dribble and get fouled. A Jack Grealish type of player on a free transfer makes lots of sense. So that you can send Ilanga, maybe sell him, Pelistri on loan, and bring him. Now, this is a more stable squad. If you are looking for a change, you can bring in Zaha, and he will go past players. He will score you the free kicks. He will do the flicks, play the 1-2s, commit the foul, drag the fouls, play the penalties. Wilfred Zaha, smart signing on a free transfer. Danny Ceballos, another mention. So I will leave you guys here today on Transfer Business, and we spoke about 3 signings Manchester United can sign on a free transfer. Marcus Thuram, Youri Tielemans, Adrien Rabiot, also honorable mentions, Samir Handanovic of Inter Milan. He is in the Champions League final, free transfer, get rid of De Gea, bring in Handanovic, who is a better goalkeeper than De Gea. Everybody knows it. Wilfred Zaha on a free transfer. Sell Ilanga. Sell Anthony Martial. Bring in Wilfred Zaha. A new spice, a new trickery. You know what Zaha can do. He's been doing it in the Premier League. Unfortunately, the first time he came to Manchester United, he didn't do well. But this is a time Zaha should come back to Manchester United, knowing that he was once the captain of Crystal Palace, and he is back to change the narrative, right? So Wilfred Zaha to Manchester United, it will make a lot of sense because it's a free transfer. Get rid of Ilanga. I think Zaha will do way better than Sancho. It is just mathematics. It is just logic. So we can do so much on a free transfer this season and get 100 million Declan Rice. If he will cost that much, bring him in. He is better. Bring in Tielemans, Rabiot, Marcus Thuram, Wilfred Zaha on a free transfer. Sell Fred, Scott McTominay, Donny van de Beek, Anthony Ilanga for probably a combined fee of 100 million and bring Declan Rice. You have re-evolutionized the midfield. Now you've got people who will work hard. Declan Rice and Adrien Rabiot, Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen. Look at this midfield as compared to what we have now. But you've done smart business to get players that can compete on a top level. Bring in a striker. Bring in another goalkeeper for free, Handanovic. Bring in Rasmus Hojlund. Your friend is saying Rasmus Hojlund. So it's been a pleasure having you on Transfer Business and News. My name is Poku-Hitzfield, and I'm Bediako-Poku, the ordained Crown Prince of Ghana. You can simply call me Nana Poku-Hitzfield. You can simply call me Venom. You can simply call me Poku. You can simply call me Bob Orton. I'm trying to remember all the names I've gone by during my lifetime. My guy names, man. Bob Orton, Venom, Lampard. Yes. Oh, yes. I used to be called Lampard when I used to play football. People called me Lampard. I didn't call myself Lampard. But they called me Lampard because they saw the similarities, man. I would study the man always. Shout out to Frank Lampard. Shout out to Michael Essien, who is a Ghanaian. Now, on Friday, join me on Sunset Friday, this Friday, live on TikTok at 9 a.m. Let us talk about Ghana. Let us talk about Africa. Let us talk about Pan-Africanism. And I will have a say on my pastor, Bishop Charles Ajinasari, on Friday. So on Sunset Friday, catch me live on TikTok. Chichicha, I'm leaving you with power. I'm leaving you with abundance. Bye-bye. Oh, do you know I've had this thing on all this while? Wow. It wasn't doing anything to Chichicha. Let me leave you with power. Let me